With this video, we're going to talk about shoulder health in adults and give you 3 simple exercises that can keep your shoulders strong and mobile. Besides low back pain, I'd say shoulder pain is probably the most common issue our physical therapy patients come into our clinics dealing with. The shoulder is a complex joint with many muscles that have to do a specific job in order to allow you to have a full range of motion without pain. These exercises are not perfect for everyone, but in our experience, they are 3 of the most effective exercises for helping with most shoulder problems. However, you should not experience pain while doing these exercises. If the pain doesn't go away, with some simple modification, avoid doing them entirely and consult your doctor. The first exercise I want to start with is a stretch of the large muscles in the front of the shoulder and chest, called the pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. If you're over 50 and don't do this stretch regularly, I'd bet $1 you need to start. When these muscles become chronically tight, they can speed up arthritis and cause all the other shoulder muscles to work harder to do their jobs. What you want to do is start off with the doorway, and depending on if you're having shoulder pain or impingement symptoms, that kind of pain when you go forward and you feel a pinch, you can start off at different heights in the door frame. I like to tell people to start off about the same height as your face and go from there. You can always go up higher. Because the pec muscle is a fan-shaped muscle, depending on how high and low you go with your arm, you're going to stretch different muscle fibers, so you're going to want to try to get multiple angles to get the whole muscle. Put one foot just in front of the other. Keep your stomach tight so you don't end up arching your back, robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know, we don't want to do this stretch and have a sore back afterwards. But you want to put your hands up about level with your head, pinch your shoulder blades back, open up your chest, and then just come forward, put the weight from your back foot to your front foot until you feel a stretch in your chest or your pec. This is called the pec stretch. It shouldn't be a pinch in your shoulder, it should just be a stretch. And where you're looking for it is all the way through there. Depending on which area is tight, you'll feel it in that area first. Once you get a good stretch and you're not feeling a pinch, you just want to hold it for about 30 seconds and then slowly back out of it. You can let your arms drop in between, let that blood come back to your hands and your arms, and then maybe try and inch your way up a little bit higher. So maybe go to the top of your head now. When I go forward into this stretch, and you don't need to switch legs, by the way, you can if you want, I feel it slightly further out on my shoulder, and that's just because of how my pecs are and how tight they are. You might feel something different. As long as you're feeling a stretch, it's fine. 30 seconds, you want to back out, and then even on the third try, go a little bit higher. If you come to a point where you get a certain height and it turns from a stretch to a pinch, then you want to back down to where you were before, where you were just feeling the stretch. Just like the tightness of the chest muscles, weakness of the muscles in the upper part of your back can and will sneak up on you. There's no check engine light for your shoulders, and what starts off as mild and easily ignorable aches and pains can lead to much more serious problems. The main reason is because after the age of 50, you'll start to have natural degenerative changes of the joint. This is normal and shouldn't be alarming. But what it means is that you may not bounce back like you used to when you were a bit younger every time you injure yourself. You need to maintain the balance between the muscles in the front, mostly your chest, which we just stretched, and the muscles in your upper back. This next exercise will help keep your shoulders back and posture good. By the way, my name's Justin. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and founder of The Active Adult. Please consider supporting us by subscribing to our channel. Doing this makes it possible to keep putting out free content each week. So many of our patients ask us what the best types of bands or tubing to use for your shoulder strengthening, and we use a company called Stroops. I'll link to this in the description in the video. These are sleeved tubing. So inside of this sleeve is a piece of tubing, latex tubing, and the sleeve is important because if you're doing strengthening exercises involving lifting anywhere near your face and your TheraBand or your tube without a sleeve snaps, it can and has come back and seriously injured people. So we always pick the ones with the sleeves, and you also want to pick a company that has high quality latex because if you don't, then after a few weeks, those bands will get stretched out and you won't have anywhere near the force that you started with every time you pull. What's also neat is this thing called a spine strap that they sell. And this attaches to your door super easy. And our patients love them because they go up in about 10 seconds and they have little hooks at different heights. So no matter what type of exercise you're doing, from high, low, middle, you can quickly change the height and it holds up nice and you don't have to drill any holes in your wall. So we're gonna take this band. Right now I have the heavy band. For most of our patients, they would probably use medium. And I'm gonna back up until my hands are out, my elbows are straight, and I'm gonna get my feet about shoulder width apart, kind of an athletic position, little bend in the knees, little bend in the hip, tighten my core, and I'm gonna do rows. So I'm gonna pinch my shoulder blades. At the same time as I pinch, I'm gonna pull straight back with my elbows and my hands, keeping my body nice and still, and let it go. So pinch the shoulder blades and pull, hold for a second or two, and let it go nice and slow. I'm gonna repeat this till fatigue. I'm gonna do about 12 to 15 repetitions till I feel a nice burn in the shoulder blades or the upper back. If you get to 15 and you're not feeling any burn, then that's a good cue that you need to go up in resistance and get a heavier band. So 15 times. When you're done, take a break, rest for about 30 seconds, repeat that 3 sets. The last exercise is meant to really challenge the muscles that stabilize your shoulder, including your rotator cuff and some of the other muscles nearby. The rotator cuff's primary function is to hold the ball of your arm or the humeral head exactly where it's supposed to fit inside the socket or the glenoid. The problem is that the socket is very shallow and compared to the size of the ball, kind of like a golf ball sitting on a golf tee. It's very unstable. So the rotator cuff will hold the ball in the socket during shoulder motion. Even though the muscles are small, their main function is stability and not even rotation. So if the rotator cuff muscles don't keep it perfect, the humeral head or ball will move upwards or forward in the joint, causing impingement and pain. So for this next exercise, think about control and take your time. We're gonna start off with a TheraBand. It's about maybe 2.5 feet long. You're gonna put it together, do a quick loop, and take the end and put it through the hole that you just made. When you pull that TheraBand tight, you can work it, make sure it's not gonna slip, and then if there's too much left over on the end, you can always trim it. So put your hands through the loop that you just made, turn and place your hands flat against the wall about shoulder height. The key is to keep outward pressure on the band, keep your posture nice and tall, shoulders back, and slowly, about 2 inches at a time, walk your hands up the wall. The band is going to be trying to pull your hands in as you go, and the shoulder blades and the arms are going to be forcing it out. Go up until you can't go any higher, or you start to feel a little twinge, and bring it back down. Try to avoid pain with this one. And by pain, I mean like sharp or aching pain, not fatigue, because you will definitely feel fatigue after you do a couple. When you come down, take a little break, let the shoulders relax. Do it again. Hands apart, and slowly walk up about 2 inches at a time. High as you feel comfortable going, and then come back down. I feel good fatigue here. Repeat that 5 times, take about a 30-second break, and do 3 sets. Like always, let me know what you thought of these exercises in the comments below. I will always do my best to answer them all. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this video from our channel. Until next time.